You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm thy friendship. Oh, how
you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lames. Yeah, you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. Covered in gray and scarlet, massive, stiff arms to your jaw. We breaking it. We sick of seeing you clowns with the crown. We taking it.
What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk about college football with real fans. I'm Devin. That's Mello, and we got a big-time guest with us tonight. One of the top running backs in the nation, Carsyn Baker, Ohio State. A big-time recruit here. They're after him pretty hard. Carsyn, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing very well.
It looks like, if I had to guess, you just got done doing some type of football-related activity.
Yes, sir. So I finished up with track this Saturday and everything. Got out. So I just started this week with spring football. So yeah, I've been playing spring football this week.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Well, Mello, how you doing today, bro?
Man, I'm good. I actually want to start there since he already met a segue. Can you tell everybody about your track team and the 4x100 team and where you rank nationally and the times you guys are throwing out? I personally got to see them at the Gale Devers. My daughter ran for Brookwood High School, and they were in the same competition. And I'm telling you, it's ridiculous watching them run. But can you tell them about your track team?
Oh yeah, this past weekend we put up a great time of 39 inside of the 4x1 and where we raced in the state championship. So yeah.
Dang, dude, that's big time, man. Quick step backwards, chat. We appreciate you guys for coming in, man. Don't forget to hit that like button. Become a member if you would. Help support the channel. It goes back into the channel. Take this moment, share this on your X, your Instagram. I feel like I always say that, and I wonder how many people actually do that. You guys should do it one time for us. That'd be huge. But of course, man, it's always nice having family in the chat. But yeah, you heard it, man. Carsyn, that's some serious. We were talking track. Obviously, Mello's very in tune with the track there in Georgia, and that's some pretty wild times. You said a 39 time in the 100-meter relay. That's
Yes,
that's cooking. What's your, since we're on that topic, and then we'll start from the beginning. What's your best time you ran in the 100-meter?
So my personal PR was the 10.61 and 100-meter dash, and then the 200 was the 21.8. So yeah.
Nice. When I ran a 9.2 in high school. It was it was 40. It was 40 meters though, but you know what I'm saying. Not the full 100. Just 40. No, man. But let's start from the beginning, man. Let's get this thing rolling. Mello, you want to start off? Take it back to the childhood, man. See how he got into this football thing.
Absolutely. So when did you start playing football, and are you originally from Georgia? Did you grow up here all your life?
I originally started playing football at ages like 5 or 6 years old, and yes, I'm originally from Georgia. I'm from like the middle Georgia part, where Millersville, but I moved up to like the further area of Atlanta later in my life, so for high school football.
Oh, and just to point this out for everybody, he goes to the same high school that Jelani Thurman and Aaron Nolan went to. So you know that they produce at that high school, just so everybody has a little bit of background about them.
Oh, yes, sir.
No. So Carsyn, obviously you're big time in the football now, man. But growing up and being a kid and even now, what are some things you're doing if you're not playing football? You like playing video games? You like fishing? What do you like doing, man?
So I like going out. I like NCAA, stuff like that. So yeah.
I think you cut out there for a second, but I think we heard that you like playing some NCAA. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I like playing NCAA. I like playing Madden. I used to play a little 2K and stuff like that, and I like going out. So yeah, that's what I like really doing in my off time. So yeah.
So who you using in NCAA? Because I got the Buckeyes. You can't use them. I'm throwing touchdowns on you with
spin move I used to use when I used to play that overpowered touchdown Jacob spin move he had at first in NCAA. So yeah. Just use them
See, I
Buckeyes.
gotta have your boy Jelani so I could cook you up with Jelani.
Hey, so Carsyn, any your family members play football? Dad, sister, any people playing sports in your family that like are alongside you in this thing, or any mentors you got to look up to?
Yes, sir. So my brother, he plays football. He's a defensive tackle, and I've learned a lot from him as he played football for a long time. He's older than me, so I really looked up to him in the recruiting process and stuff like that. So yes, sir.
Nice.
So at what age did you know you were different? Like, when did it click? Like, yo, nobody out here can mess with me. I'm
So
out
when I
here.
was younger, I used to dominate the competition so bad in Millersville, and then I just started playing up here a little bit in football like that, and I started dominating up here too. I was like, I might be really good somewhere wearing this football stuff, and I started taking more serious and serious over the years. Like I just fell in love with the game.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah, man. Well, dude, we interview like recruits with their parents sometimes, both of them, mom and dad. And dude, I honestly, it's hard to remember a time where we haven't had the mom say or the recruit say, "My mom really didn't want me in football. She didn't want to see me getting hit and all that stuff." Is that how your mom is growing up, or is she all about this football thing?
So yeah, as a running back, running backs take big hits. When I was younger, she used to always be scared for her to play football and everything like that. I told her, Mom, this is what it's gonna take for me, and the position I play is gonna take me to do that. So over the years, she ended up getting more comfortable with me playing the position and like the different parts of football. So yeah.
So what's one of your most memorable moments thus far playing football? It could either be from when you were like 5, it could be something like where Air Nolan or you shook Jelani or something at practice, or even a game situation. What's one of your fondest moments?
The state championship game while I had scored my 3rd touchdown last year inside of. So yeah.
Dang.
Probably that moment right there.
Hey, can you tell everybody who you played against?
Milton.
Woo! I watched that on TV.
Yes, sir.
So fun fact, my one of my best friends and running back from high school, his son was a starting middle linebacker, Hayden Taminia.
Oh yes, sir. I remember him. He wore number 7. I remember him.
Nice. Hey man, could you do us a favor, Carsyn, and just let everybody know that don't know, and run through a little bit of your high school team accolades, maybe some, your record from last year and what you guys going on this year and what you expect from your high school team this year, and maybe shout out a couple players on your team that are going to go join you in Division I football.
So the last couple of years, we've won a state championship. We went out 2nd round. Then last year we came back with it. We went out to the state championship game with a 13-1 record where we lost to only Douglas County. We ended up playing against Milton. It was a shootout first half, but it ended up being a 56-35 final score. And this year we're looking onto rebuilding, going back and winning it all this year.
Nice. Heck yeah, you got some other big time football players on your team.
Yes,
that
sir.
are doing this recruiting process as well.
I have a love tackle named Kelsey Adams. He had just recently picked up the Ohio State offer last week. A tight end named Xavier Tiller. And then I have a running back. It's a duo I have, Cortavius Wiggins. Then we got Keegan Braxton the edge, Jelani cousin. So yeah, those are the great pieces of the team.
Seems like a lot of future Buckeyes if I'm going to manifest this right now.
So yeah, it's
So you mentioned you got a duo right now. You got another good running back right beside you. Is that something that you're looking for when you pick a college? Do you want another good back beside you, or are you wanting to like take the carries on your own?
With me, it really wouldn't matter with me, but having a duo is be less than wear and tear. The running back life expectancy is not very long. When the less wear and tear you get on you, and the more time you get to play. So with that, it would really just depend, but it doesn't really have a direct impact on my recruitment.
Gotcha.
That's good. That's good to know. I do think you guys probably will be the front runners to win this year. That Milton team was just pretty loaded.
Yeah, we gave them a fight that first time, but they fought back.
I don't think people. If you haven't watched Carson's film, you need to. This kid is so quick. He's explosive. He's fast. He could catch out the backfield. He would be a tremendous asset to Ohio State. And plus, we like that Langston Hughes pipeline.
Yes, sir.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
So in
Yeah,
terms
Carsyn,
of, go ahead, Kev.
Now I was going to say something, then you asked a question. But be honest with you, Carsyn. Before I ever did this interview, about 6 months ago, I sat down and I watched all the running backs in this class, probably 15 of them, and I ranked them. And this was before I do that, before I go look at like the industry rankings and stuff, because I'm trying to become better at evaluating film or stuff. And I want to lie to you and told you I had you number one, but you were a toss-up between my number 2 and number 3 on my list, and that is saying something serious. So yes, go watch his film, and it's no wonder that he's up there. People be talking about Savion Hyder and Derek Cooper. They're the ones in the recruiting industry that are ranked above you. I have you in their category as well. So go check his film out, man. The dude
5A
is
football, by the way. 5A Georgia football and one of the highest classifications.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, trust me. I know.
I talk about it all the time. So in terms of your college process, when was your first offer and who was it from, if you can remember?
My first date offer was December. I think it was like it was like a January. It was like December, January time. It was Pittsburgh of like the end of my 10th grade season. So yeah, my first offer from Pittsburgh.
And how'd you feel when you got
I felt very excited knowing like at that time I had like didn't like get that much playing time, and the times I did get in had very like a great amount of time and did very great plays, and I ended up getting an offer after that season. So
yeah.
Nice. I got a little series of fun questions for you here. So question number 1, do you watch college and NFL football like a lot?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, perfect. So question number 1, who was your favorite college team growing up?
My favorite college team. Yeah, I always liked the Buckeyes, but like, being a Georgia boy and everything and stuff like that. So it's like it was like a little toss up in the house. So yeah.
Trust me, man. Please do not feel any pressure because you see all these signs behind us. We do these interviews because we want people to get to know who you are as a recruit. So, Buckeyes, Georgia, not a bad tandem to pick when watching college football. What about an NFL team?
I like the San Francisco 49ers since I was younger. Just always looked up to them. And I always got a lot. I still got that Jimmy Garoppolo jersey and my closet and everything, too. So I like the 49ers a lot.
All right, here we go. It's going to put a little pressure on you. So we're going to build a dream team here, right? So I need one quarterback, alive, not living, all time. Who's your quarterback? Who's your running back? And pick one wide receiver. Who's it going to be?
Give me Megatron. Give me Adrian Peterson.
Ooh.
And give me Pat Mahomes.
All right.
Okay.
Got you. So I take it that is your favorite running back.
Yes, sir. Adrian Peterson is my favorite running back of all time. I got a poster on my wall.
Gotcha. Hey, one of our listeners, A. Meadows, wants to know: do you see yourself more of a thunder or more of a lightning? I can answer that for
Lightning.
you.
Lightning.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, he's definitely lightning. So, as you go through this recruiting process, what are some of the things that you're looking for? Because the process has changed over the years, and it's changing rapidly with NIL and the transfer portal. Are you looking at depth chart? Are you looking at NIL? Are you looking at how many people portal out of certain schools? Like, what's important to you when you're choosing these schools?
So I'm looking for a great running back coach that's going to develop me to be the best person I could be. A place where I can go in, I know I have impact, and their scheme fits me great as a person. I need a great culture, a very great head coach, and know it's going to be there with great stability. I need to have I need to know I have a great offensive line to run behind and stuff like that. and always be on top every year and compete for a national title every single year I've been at the school. So yeah, and a very great fan base and all that.
So Carsyn, the more we learn about this recruiting process, especially in today's day and age with the transfer portal, with NIL, and with how national recruiting has become, there's one vital thing that we know recruits have to have. So a little bit of a two-parter here. Number one, what kind of support group do you have around you, and who are they? And question number two, is it hard? Because if I take myself back, actually, I'm going to do one question at a time. Tell us about your support group. Sorry about that.
So my support group, I have my mom and dad, and they like a part of everything and stuff. And like I listen to them a lot of my recruitment, so that's really like the two I keep there. I don't really have like a large. I don't want to have a large circle. Like keep it like nice and tight, and don't have everybody. But so yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, man. Yeah, because we hear a lot of bad stories out there about people coming in trying to befriend some of these recruits because there's some big time offers going around. When money gets involved, it gets crazy. Speaking of money, nothing too intense here. Not really an intense question. More of just an overall question of, because when I take myself back to, if I was your age and I played basketball and NIL was around, and let's say I was a Division I athlete and I was having all this money thrown at me, it would be extremely hard for me not to put money as number one. It honestly would. It would be really hard for me not to just pick the school that was offering me the most money. The only way I wouldn't do that is if I had a support group around me trying to guide me and lead me in the right direction. Can you maybe speak on a little bit? Is that something difficult for you, or like when it comes to the money aspect of recruiting these days, or are you pretty steadfast and secure in what you want in the future, and you're cool with playing the long game of being developed because the real money's in the NFL? Becoming a man is more important than making a bunch of money. Is that easy for you, or is that a struggle?
So I don't always look at money as the main thing. I like to take in the great development I can get, and also the money's gonna come with it along. If you do great things and be best you can be, I feel like the money comes along with it. So money's always not the biggest factor inside of my recruitment, and I look at what can be done and where I can earn, and it's not always that. So.
No, his light just went off. I think he's in the car. So, who's your lead recruiter at Ohio State? I'm assuming it's Coach Locke. And if it is, yes, what's your relationship with him?
Ever since Coach Locke had got the job at Ohio State, he's been on me hard in the recruitment. Came up to camp, got a very great. Like we just kept establishing a relationship. He came by the school, then I come up for a visit and everything like that, and it really impressed me a lot. So,
yeah. So one of our listeners, Studley, he wants to know, man, because obviously when you're looking at bigger schools like Georgia and Ohio State, Alabama, when you commit there, you're going to have competition. You know what I mean? You're committing to schools that only bring in the best, right? So how do you view that? Are you the type of recruit that you want to go where the best is, because to be the best, you got to beat the best? Or what's your mentality with competition?
I love competition. I've never been a guy to run away from competition. If I go anywhere, I want to play against like the best defense in the country every day and get better. And I want to be very competitive. I'm a very competitive guy. I've never stopped in the competition, and I really like competition, and that will never be a factor to me. So I want to go where it's going to be at.
Nice. Now, Mello brought up Ohio State. So when did that relationship start? How long ago did they first reach out to you, and how long ago was the offer from them?
So about last camp season, when I had visited for a camp, I was offered after I had a great workout with Coach Locke and seeing around a little bit. So yeah.
Nice.
And have you taken any visits this spring to Ohio State and seen any practices at all?
Yes, sir. I went out there for a practice this spring also.
So what were your thoughts? Because we always hear about this culture that they have. We hear about the brotherhood. We hear that the WAC is special. You just feel the energy when you walk in. What was your experience when you got there? Is any of that true? And what was your experience watching the practice? What were your thoughts?
It was a great experience. They was on live. They was talking to each other. I like the way they on communication. I love the way the backs was used inside the offense, and like you can just tell like the brotherhood they have in between like each other, like the players, the way they do things and the way they move, and like so it's very intense. And it's the best on best, one of the best offenses in the country versus best defenses in the country. Then the coaching staff, the way they coach up the players, and I like the way Coach Locke was the backs and the way how all of them was involved with the players and stuff like that. So yeah.
So Melo mentioned that you got a couple of teammates on the Buckeyes, or people that went to your school. What's that like, man? Have you built relationships or continued relationships with any of the players at Ohio State? And when you go on visits there, do you make old connections? What's that like there? Did you connect with any other Ohio State players on your visits?
So Jelani and everything, and him going to Langston, he always tells me a lot. You need to come on Ohio State. Ohio State's the move, and he has enjoyed Ohio State since he's been there. And when I was there for practice, he really showed out. He caught two passing touchdowns. Receiving touchdowns as I was there watching the practice also. So
nice, man.
Yeah, so I'm a big I stump hard for Jelani. I tell everybody he's gonna. Because I work out with his cousin at the gym up here in Gwinnett, one of his cousins. And he told me Jelani's locked in and he's focused. And to me, a focused, locked in Jelani is the best tight end in the country because he has things that you can't teach. Like he could play as well as a wide receiver like he did in Langston Hughes. And with his height and his size, his speed, his athleticism, I'm a big thumper. So what are your expectations for your ex-teammate this season? What do you think Jelani's going to do?
I think this is Jelani breakout season. He's gonna have this is gonna be one of his best seasons, as he's a great catcher tight end. He can also block, and he's like one of the most versatile tight ends inside of the country. If he's used right and everything, he'll have a very great season. So that's what I have really think about him. So
yeah, he has the potential to be an absolute elite tight end. There's no doubt about that, man. But you mentioned you want developed. You mentioned Coach Locke. So we know Coach Locke, he's called the walk-on coach, right? You heard his story from Memphis to Oregon to Ohio State now. And, we saw the NFL draft recently. I think 4 of his running backs got drafted. I think so anyway. But, I'm assuming you watched Ohio State a little bit last year in the playoffs with Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. But can you tell us what you thought about that running back duo last year, and then also kind of get into what is it about Coach Locke that you see? What areas of his coaching style can make you an elite running back? Like, what is it that draws you to him as a football running backs coach?
As in that great playoff run with Quinshon and Travion, they were used a lot in the offense. I think the great games, Travion, the Texas screen pass for halftime, he took all the way. I think that was a big game changer to play the way they used the running back right there. Then Quinshon Judkins, great 3 touchdown performance. I feel like that was also great for the Buckeyes, and they were used right. Also, Coach Locke and his the way he can coach me, I feel like the way in camp I got a great glimpse on how he was hard on me, and like he made sure I do everything right as he expects more out of me and stuff like that. So I feel like he'll be a great hands-on coach and to get me better with everything I need to work on the most and get me very develop and for the next level for the next part of football. So
in terms of OVs, have you made a OV list? And if so, what schools are you going to visit, and when do you come to Ohio State?
Okay, so I have an official visit planned for this weekend, the 16th through the 18th to Florida. Then I have another one going over to May 30th through June 1st to Clemson. Then I have one scheduled to Florida State June 6th through 8th. Then I have Ohio State June 13th through 15th. Then I have South Carolina June 20th through 22nd.
So what are you looking to see on these OVs?
I'm looking to get around the players, get a great conversation with the players, see how their everyday life is on campus, to see how like they go through the different things, the different plays, how they learn from the coaching staff, and get a great feel, get a more built-in relationships, talk more to the coaching staff, or like the like get deep inside details and like learn more about them. So yeah.
Yeah. So Carsyn, last year the Ohio State team, they were big on faith, right? Baptisms on campus and all their interviews talking about Jesus and giving him all the glory for that playoff run and stuff. And we speak to a lot of recruits, man, and not that it's like a necessity, right? Like to come to Ohio State, you have to believe in Jesus to have faith. That's not what this is about. It's just, it's kind of cool, right? To watch men your age have that faith and be a good example, because obviously we live in a world where a lot of people are hurting, a lot of people are making bad decisions, and it starts at the younger age, like around your guys' age. So can you speak to the faith that you have in your life, and how that affects like a school you're gonna pick, like for instance, it's a breath of fresh air knowing you're going to be around other believers, or it might not even be that big of a deal to you in terms of committing. But can you just speak about that for a minute?
So as me, faith is like very good to me. Like ever since I've been baptized, I've really been a changed person. It's really helped me a lot inside of life. It's helped me on this great journey I've been to become a great football player and a great person to be itself. Is inside of I pray before like before every game, and also like during state championship games, some games I have crosses on my cleats to like represent like Christ and stuff like that. So basically, with the coach, like with the coaches, I would like to have a coach that believes in it a lot, and like see like Coach Locke, he sends daily prayers every morning and everything like that to me, and I can tell he's a great believer inside of Christ. So yeah, I would love a coach like that believes deeply inside of Jesus and can help you inside of the faith.
Yeah, man, that's really cool.
So our guy A Metals again, he posted this. It's just a comment. He says, "So commitment's coming June 13th, right?"
Hey, when do you plan on committing? Do you have any idea?
I'm more than likely going to commit after all my official visits, unless it's something on any visit like just shocks me out of the world. That's the only time it would change. But after, it's going to most definitely be before the season. So after all my officials, that's when I'm going to commit.
Nice.
Absolutely. So that's always good. What else do you got for him, Dev?
So, Carsyn, I wanted to know, man, I wanted to ask you this earlier, but when you're on the field, right, as a running back, what's the mentality that you have? And also, I'm all about these two-parters tonight. What's your favorite thing to do as a running back? Is it truck somebody over? Is it pass protection? Ha ha ha. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Is it catch a pass out of the backfield? What is it, man? So what's your mentality as a running back when you're on the field, when you're about to get that ball? What's going through your mind? And what's your favorite thing to do as a running back?
So what goes to my mind as a running back is like, it can only be one shot. So every time I get the ball, I would love to score. And I really have a lot of joy in tracking somebody, hit a whole stand like, boo, and stuff like that. So I really love to do that. But like lately, I ain't really had a chance because it's really been like rush straight pass. So I really haven't really been touched like that. So, but it gives me joy doing that. What I think as a running back is you only get one chance. So I try to make my biggest way every time I get the ball.
Yeah. So would you say your favorite thing is trucking people over, or the juke and you're running by them?
I like to truck people over, and then I like to run by them just like they have a great angle on me. I like to run straight past them, and then it just make them look like bad on film. So if you watch my film, I got a lot of those on there.
Oh yeah, you got a lot of those from the Milton game.
Oh,
even I was shocked. I was like, "Dang, this dude is moving."
Yeah, I went straight past. He had one of the best angles I had on me all year. He ran right by him. So yeah.
So if you could describe yourself as a player to Buckeye Nation, can you let them know? They also want to know what your height and weight is right now.
I'm 6'2", 200 pounds right now, and how I describe myself as I feel like I'm a I have a great first step. I have the size most backs don't have. I'm gonna get very physical with you if I have to and stuff like that. So I feel like, and I can do every aspect of the game. I can catch out the backfield. I can run, and I'm a great pass blocker and stuff like that.
So, kind of wrapping up here a little bit, Carsyn. Have you put out a list of top schools yet?
I have a top 5 right now.
Can you list those for us?
I have Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, South Carolina, and Florida State. That's my top 5 at the moment.
Okay, gotcha. Is that kind of set? Are you only focused on those 5 schools right now, or you just kind of never know, kind of going with the flow? Somebody else could also get an official, or how you playing that?
Right now, those are my top 5. Florida and Texas are coming in as potential visits. I might go and see. So yeah.
Gotcha. Cool, man.
And I'm just going to ask, you don't have to answer if you don't feel comfortable, but where in your list does Ohio State kind of fit?
Ohio State is one of the ones for me on my list, and like the 5, they're one of the ones that I like, leaning towards like one of the most. Like I like them a lot in my recruitment.
Awesome.
It seems like they like you a lot, man. Didn't you? The coach has been down to visit you a couple times and stuff like
yes,
that,
sir.
correct?
Yes, sir. Coach Locke's been out here and stuff like that already, also.
Now we hear. I got to ask you one more question. We hear recruits say in interviews, for instance, Jordan Thomas, defensive back, just committed to the Buckeyes yesterday, and in his interview, he said that the Buckeyes make me feel like a priority. So, from a recruit's perspective, what's the number one thing a team can do to make you feel like a priority? Is it come visit you? Is it call you every day? Is it straight up tell you? Like, if you had to pick one thing to narrow it down as a recruit, what's the one thing a team can do to make you feel like a top priority?
I feel like if you just show me, like, it doesn't have to be like calling every day, like just making sure like I'm straight, checking up on me and stuff like that, because every day, like, I can understand, but like it's not always the everyday thing, like blowing up and stuff like that. But I feel like just show me.
Yeah, for sure. Does Coach Locke do a good job at that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. He texts in on me a lot when he sends. I think he sends the daily morning prayers every day when he texts me. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool, man.
We're trying to lock down the state of Georgia. We need you, Deuce, Tyler Atkinson, come up here and join your homies and Edric Houston, K-Mac, and Jelani. You know, we got a spot for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, Carsyn, we appreciate you, Mello. You got anything before I wrap this up?
What was Jelani's cousin's name and the left tackle that Ohio State just offered? I just want to write it down so I'm tracking.
Kelsey Adams. And then Jelani's cousin name is Keegan Braxton.
Keenan Braxton?
Keegan, Kijon Braxton.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Well, Carsyn, it's been an honor and a privilege, man. It's really cool, following your recruiting process, watching your film, seeing how much you've grown over the past couple years, and seeing the Buckeyes get involved in your recruitment. I pray you're a Buckeye one day, but either way, I can tell your mentality as a football player and as a person, man, you're going to succeed at anywhere you go. So it's going to be cool to see that, man. But we appreciate you joining us, Carsyn, and we'll reach back out, maybe check back up with you at a later date. And if you want to commit somewhere live, dude, the invitation is always open here on the Buckeye Boys. We also stream on Buckeye Scoop. They have over 30,000 subscribers, so we can get a couple thousand people watching your commitment if you want somewhere to come commit. So we appreciate you joining us, Carsyn. Gotcha.
Game this year that we should go to, because Dev is in Tallahassee. I'm right here in Gwinnett. We're going to pull up. What game should we come to?
Douglas County is going to be at the Hughes this year. Kind of Douglas County game. I think it's like the 3rd week of the season.
Okay.
So yes,
we there.
Unless it's the Washington weekend, because we're supposed to go to the Washington-Ohio State game. If not, we'll find another one.
Okay, bet.
Oh, yeah, let's visit that time. All right, man. Carsyn, we appreciate the heck out of you, bro. Again, excited to see where the future leads you, man. Have a blessed day, all right?
You also, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, brother.
Have a good one.
I got more stuff.
OH.
He got off here. I almost did it. I should have done it for sure.
No, it's all good. You forgot.
All right, Mello. Dive into something. They want to see some Carsyn Baker highlight film, so we're going to play it.
So somebody wanted me to talk about
these highlights.
Huh?
Yeah, I got a nugget on him, by the way, but you keep going while I get these.
Yeah, I'm about to talk. I'm going to start talking about Atkinson a little bit. So if you don't know, Atkinson is the best linebacker probably in the past, easily at least a decade that I've seen coming out of high school. There's a reason that Ohio State wants him so bad in James Laurinaitis. Besides the fact that he's an elite player, he's an elite kid. I don't live that far from him, but you never hear about him getting in trouble, which fits for the culture. He's a leader in his community, which fits for the culture. And as you can see, yeah, blow that up. Yeah. That's Carsyn Baker, by the way. That's not Tyler Atkinson.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, some people in the chat wanted me to pull up.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I was just letting the chat
Baker's highlights.
I was letting the chat know because I was talking about Atkinson, but let's switch. We'll hold off on Atkinson for now.
Oh, I was going to talk about Atkinson. This Carsyn Baker film is obviously, it's pretty obvious, man. The dude is, I mean, he's fast. He's, Travion Henderson type of home run hitter, running back. Dude, I just can't, there's this debate out there. You got so the Buckeyes are in on Savion Hyder, Derek Cooper, and Carsyn Baker. And, at least when I watched the film, Savion Hyder seems to be, he's the number one, right, on my board. That's not really, debatable in my opinion. But when you get down to Derek Cooper and Carsyn Baker, it's a toss-up for me. And it seems to be like, because of rankings and whatnot, everybody just seems to not put Carsyn in that category with a Derek Cooper or whatnot. I feel like people think that if we miss on Savion and Derek and we get Carsyn in favor of Key versus Savion in favor of Key, that'll be kind of a step down. It's not, man. It's just, it's not, dude. When you're that close, as Savion to Carsyn Baker, when you're that close as a high school athlete and you instill Carsyn into the Ohio State coaching, the weight room, the nutrition, the whole 9 yards, he could very easily be on that level. He has all the tools necessary, and he's still developing as a player.
For me, I'm going to disagree a little bit. I think he's better than Savion Hyder. I think it's Derek Cooper, then him, then Savion. And the reason I say that is because the competition in Virginia compared to Southern Florida and Georgia is not even comparable. And as you just said, like as Craig just said, destroyed that angle with speed. That was against Buford, one of the best teams nationally. And if you saw what he did to Milton, which was ranked number 2 in the nation after Matter Day, and they couldn't play Matter Day for a true national champion because of the rules and regulations and stipulations of California high school rules not allowing to play over a certain amount of games, you will understand. I'm sure some of it will be on the highlight film, but the competition that he plays against is not equivalent to what Savion plays. So to me, I give a nod to him. And Derek Cooper to me is the best back in the country. He can do everything. He's a big back, and he plays about similar competition as Carsyn Baker.
I love it. I actually like when we disagree more than when we agree. Yeah. So that's a good thing. I like it, man. But yeah, you're watching this kid's film. I mean, he's up there. So, but the Buckeyes have legit shot. Savion Hyder, same place, same state. Travion Henderson, they got it when he came down for his visit, got real close with Travion, had a long talk with him, and that made an impact. Derek Cooper, obviously, JJ from the same school, right? Shamadad Madonna. That running back, so kind of got that in there a little bit because I've been on him for a minute. The intel I have, we have, the most recent one that I got is that we have a better chance at Hyder than we do Cooper.
Yeah, same here.
They could be off there, but out of all those three, Carsyn Baker is the one that I think we have the biggest shot at for sure. Great. And for some odd reason, there's still this rumor out there that I have yet to confirm that I do not believe that favor of Key is not a take. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but dude, I don't believe that for a second. I think
Neither do I.
Favorite
Once they offered him, he's a
they
take.
offered him. You know what I mean? And he's busting his tail. So,
And this is Buford.
for sure.
My fault. This is Buford right here. Same school Edric Houston went to, and KJ Bolden and Justice Haynes. This is not some scrubs. These are like elite level kids.
Yeah. Hey, man, so let's head on Tyler Atkinson real fast. I got a call from somebody today, and we got in on this conversation about Tyler Atkinson. And, you know, all the talk is Georgia, Georgia, Georgia. Well, you see the type of pressure that Ohio State is putting on. And at least my source, hearing from the Woody, Ohio State feels very, very good where they're at. And there's this looming feeling that Tyler Atkinson wants to get out of the state and kind of make his own name, make his own path type of situation, type of, you know, think of a, you know, I don't want to say Trey McNutt because he's not that type of person, but I mean, sometimes players just want to get out. They want to experience something different. They want to get away from that and create, you know, another chapter in their life. So going to be very interesting, man. The more I learn about this recruitment, I used to think my answer used to be no, we're not getting Tyler Atkinson. Then it went to, well, wait, I don't know, could be a toss-up. And I'm starting, based off the conversations I'm having with other people that talk to people inside of Ohio State, I'm starting to actually get confident. Like there's actually more than a 50% confident that we're going to land Tyler Atkinson, because people are bringing this up right now because Jackson Cantwell committed to Miami today. And everybody was like, they can't afford Jackson Cantwell and the quarterback they just signed. And that's going to really get us in there for Tyler Atkinson. I don't think that was ever in play anyway. Tyler Atkinson is rich already. Okay. He's not going to, you know, I mean, even $100,000 this way or that way isn't going to sway his decision. The dude's already, I mean, he's already has nil deals. He's the second he signs with the school, he's going to get more. I mean, not from the school, but from whatever city he goes to. So I like our chances. But yes, Craig, even after Cantwell to Miami, and that is based off of, it's not going to come down to that. It's not going to come down to who has the biggest offer. The dude's already, I'm going to guess probably making a good little chunk of change. I don't want to.
He's a millionaire. I'm gonna flat out just tell you, he has a deal. Him and Chris Henry are signed to Adidas. He has his own line called Acting Up. I'm gonna tell you right now. So before last season, I felt Ohio State was in the lead. He had the best relationship with James Laurinaitis. Then Kirby felt that heat. So Kirby started flying his helicopter all the time to Grayson High School. Grayson High School is not a feeder school to UGA. So he had to put in that work, try to catch back up. Then everybody just assumed because we only live about 25 minutes from Athens. So he went to Athens a lot. I mean, it's right there. Why wouldn't you go if you could go to a free game or a free basketball game or whatnot? So he went there a lot, probably around 15 times. So everybody just assumed follow the visits. That's the old school thinking. Like we're not in the old school world of recruiting. So they already automatically assumed that he was going to UGA. I also felt in line with that thought for a little bit. I was like, man, I think UGA might have made up the ground and took the lead. But he just flat out came out and said Ohio State is on the top of his list. And then that weekend, you see the whole coaching staff coming out to see him. I do believe we lead. And if you think about how many times he's been to UGA and how many times Kirby has been to Grayson, as opposed to Ohio State, I believe he's been to Ohio State 5 times. And for us to still be the leader, that should tell you everything you need to know right now. And if you think Laurinaitis is going to fumble his number one target, come on.
I'm going to do a little pushback, a little correcting myself, because that interview with Tyler Atkinson, it was assumed, and even me, I just, I heard Ohio State is the top school. I went back and watched it again, and this has I still feel the same way. I do believe Ohio State is the top school right now, but I don't think he said that. I think he said Ohio State is a top school, not the top school.
He said that. He said that. They doubled down on it. They doubled down on it on the next video that he said that that's their top school. Now the audio wasn't the greatest.
So there's another video of him saying that.
They after they wrapped up, they went and did a wrap up, and they said the most shocking thing was Tyler Atkinson saying Ohio State was his top school.
Yeah. All I'm saying is when I watch it, I don't know for sure if he said or the, and I lean more towards I just don't see a player of his caliber just coming out and saying Ohio State is the top school. But that being said, I think they're the top school right now. So it's really irrelevant because we can go back and forth on what he said in the interview all day long. He's still got to commit somewhere, and we'll see. But you see the type of pressure Ohio State is putting on, and Melo, you hit the nail on the head with, well, what about all these visits? Well, how many times did Jackson Cantwell visit Georgia versus Miami? He was at Georgia quite a bit, so a little bit more. Kid just committed to Miami. Different scenario, situation.
Look at Trey McNutt and Rock Hill. They've been to Ohio State over like 30 times. Not at Ohio State.
What's this wishy-washy stuff, Gio? I'm not being wishy-washy about. You stop being wishy-washy.
I think he's saying that because you thought he said when he said the, he's thinking you're wishy-washy. But he said the. He said the. I'm just confirming.
When I first watched it, I went on the. Oh yeah, he just said Ohio State was the top school, but then I went back and watched it again, and that's when I started having my doubts that he said it.
But I feel you, and I understand the audio wasn't clear. But I mean, if I'm interviewing a kid, and then after the interview, I double down and say he said that Ohio State is the top school, you can hear it better in person. I'm going to tend to believe that because you're not going to put it.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know they doubled down. So
they doubled down hard.
That's interesting and leads me, more towards that. Let me be a little more wishy-washy here. I'm gonna say it like this. I think he said a top school, which means that they're in the top of the bracket. And I also think he said the top school. So I think both are true. I think we're one of the top schools, and we also are the top school. Does that help clear things up for everybody?
Yeah. That both could be true. The way you worded it could be true. But he said we are the top school for everybody else. You got to make me pull up to Grayson and find this kid. It's only 2 miles from my house. I'll be like, did you say we were the or
Hey, listen, I got something cooking in the fire, by the way. Get Tyler Atkinson on this show. I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
That knows somebody.
Isn't that a song? Yeah, I was going to keep going with that, but I didn't. Who's going to be better, David Sanders or Jackson Cantwell? This would just be an absolute guess. Mello, this is beautiful. I want to talk about this for a second because I love that Ohio State does not pay high school linemen millions of dollars. I love it. I do not want them doing that. It kind of blows my mind because as good as Jackson Cantwell is, as good as David Sanders is, you never know. I mean, look at all the 3-star offensive linemen that I think out of all the positions, I know out of all the positions, ranking offensive linemen is the most, what am I trying to say? It's not good. It's hard to do. It's the most difficult thing to do, and they're missed on more often than not. So, I mean, maybe I should go through the past 5 years and do research on all the 5-star offensive tackles. You know what I mean? And do research on them. So Josh Simmons, was he
It's a developmental position, right? So you got someone that's not highly ranked with a kid that's highly ranked, and they being two different programs or the same program, doesn't matter, getting developed. And the kid that's not as highly ranked could surpass the kid that's highly ranked. Doesn't mean the kid that's highly ranked isn't good anymore. So that's where I like our strategy, how we hit from the portal, but we recruit, but we hit from the portal if we need to. And in terms of that question, I had that very same question, Dev, about who's better, David or Cantwell. And I really don't know. So, like, they do different things. So, for me, I feel like Cantwell is a better run blocker, road grader. He's more powerful. But I feel like David Sanders is more athletic and fluid with the feet. So, he's better at pass blocking. I think it's just pick your poison. Who do you want? But neither one of them are worth that money, in my opinion, coming out of high school.
And listen, I'm not saying it. I think David Sanders and Jackson Cantwell have the potential to be first-round draft picks. Very, very good. I mean, they have that skill set. But what I'm saying here, what I'm about to say is not an outlandish statement to say.
No.
Sam Greer will wind up better than David Sanders and Jackson Cantwell. I'm not saying I believe that, but I'm saying if I were to believe that, that's not an outlandish statement. Nobody can tell me I'm wrong. Like there's no evidence. There's nothing you can point to and say, no, Devin, you're wrong because look at this. Because look at this. I mean, Mello, you said it, developmental. Now, would you rather have one Jackson Cantwell or three Maxwell Rileys?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm picking three Maxwell Rileys. You know what I mean? So up for, you can argue that, all day long, but I feel like a lot of people feel this way that we feel. Gio started something. There's a bunch of people calling me wishy-washy Dev in the chats now.
For real?
Yeah, it's great. Look at Steely. Wishy-washy Dev.
We got wishy-washy up here.
Thanks, Gio, man. You're my dude, bro. That's great. I love it. That's why I love coming on these shows, man. It's so cool.
Heck yeah.
Dude, I had something else to say. Oh, yeah. So then the dominoes are starting to fall here. Emmanuel Nacho has got a falling ball to Oregon, right? And number 3 is Felix Ojo, the next one up to be landed. Had a little conversation today as well. That's a Texas-Ohio State battle. We just know Texas, they're going to pay that money. I don't think it's going to come down to that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we have a relationship with Felix Ojo. We've interviewed him. He's going to come back on the show. He doesn't strike me as that type. He's a very confident football player. He, likes to come on shows, likes to go on visits, likes all that. But when it comes down to it, I believe Ohio State is out recruiting Texas right now for Felix Ojo with the effort alone. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I would second that, but Texas is going to be a hard pull to get him, but I believe we could do it. We got the right staff in place. We were fighting an uphill battle a little bit. He came on the show and flat out just said Texas was number 1 and Ohio State was number 2 in his recruiting on our show the last time he was on. So I do feel like a little bit of that has changed because it's not just Tyler Bowen recruiting him. It's literally the entire offensive staff all the way up to Coach Day. And they're going to visit him several times already. So I think we made up a lot of ground. And if we're not in the league, we're neck and neck with Texas.
Yeah. There's always – so the head coach, Ryan Day, he can't be everywhere. He can't put his effort into all the recruits that they're after. So, he's going to have a list. Regardless of what we think, he's going to have that list of recruits that he thinks is important. The recruits that – not that any of them are more important to others. You guys know what I'm saying here. Felix Ojo is, I'm very confidently saying, top 3 on Ryan Day's list of, hey, let me make sure I check in on this guy. Here's a couple other ones. You got Tyler Atkinson. You got Savion Hyler. You got Braylon Womack. You got Darius Gray. There's 5 players right there. The Ryan Day, Brian Hartline, all of this staff is really involved. And that is a change that I believe Ryan Day made this year. It's not just those recruits either. a lot of these recruits are hearing from a lot more of these Ohio State coaches than I remember from the past anyway. You know what I mean? You're always used to hearing the position coach, and I know each head coach has a different area that they recruit, right? I mean, Coach Locke's talked about it a lot because he has that area that has all the really good football players. So that's his area to recruit. But even outside of that, man, we're hearing about a lot of these coaches getting involved in recruiting, and I love it. Let me get some be calling some defensive linemen though. But anyway, Mello, what you got?
I don't think anybody caught that. Look, if we get Felix Ojo, I'm gonna be through the moon. I'm gonna be just as excited, probably more excited than if we would have landed Jackson Cantwell or David Sanders, especially because he is a BBZ member as far as I'm concerned in terms of recruits. So like I'm rooting for him. He already knows. We tell him all the time. Trust me, we're trying to help recruit these kids when we can as well. So like he knows we want him at Ohio State. He's a very intelligent kid. I don't think it's going to come down to NIL. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a good battle all the way down the stretch.
Yeah, Felix Ojo, when I do my little rankings thing, like I try to be good. Like I watched a lot of offensive linemen's film. I graded them, and then I'll call Kirk. We'll have a conversation about it and go through it. He's kind of taught me what to look at, what not to look at. Felix Ojo was my number one tackle in this class. I had him rated number one before I ever thought Ohio State was involved in this. So this isn't well, Ohio State's in on him, so let's throw that homer opinion in there, that fanboy opinion. It's not that. You know, even if he goes to Texas, I'm still going to say he's the number one recruit. But I will tell you this, Buckeye fans. Let's just say we don't land Felix Ojo, and let's just say we don't land Darius Gray. I'm not going to be sweating at all because we're in on Micah Champ Smith. We're in on
Evan.
Yeah. Who?
Evan Goodwin.
Now, he already committed somewhere, but the point is, I don't have that list in front of me. We're in on a lot of like top 200 offensive linemen. Not that rankings matter, but we're in on a lot of them. And one thing I've noticed what Coach Bowen does, and I absolutely love it, is as soon as one of his guys comes off the board, he puts another offer out. Evan Goodwin committed. Boom. 2 days later, he had another offer out to a top 200 Georgia offensive lineman, Sam Rosenbar. That's not how you pronounce his name, but, gave him an offer as well. So I'm just telling you, I'm not worried about Coach Bowen and the offensive line, even if we don't land some of those guys. In my opinion, before the season started, the two that were must-gets for me, they're in the class. Sam Greer, Maxwell Riley. I also wanted Adam Guthrie really bad, but we didn't get him. But those were the two guys that I was like, hey, we got to get him. These are must-gets. He went and did it, so I'm very happy. I mean, shoot, we've got as many people in the class as we signed last year. I mean.
Already.
So that's already. You know what I mean? So,
and I love Sam Greer, man. That kid is going to be a monster, period. I think he's underrated.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Let's do this. Okay, so Tucker Smith, Maxwell Riley, or Sam Greer, who gets drafted higher, you think? Who's the highest draft pick out of those three?
I'm going Sam Greer, and here's why. Because I believe Sam Greer is going to be a left tackle. Either left or right tackle, depending how they fill out the. Obviously, if Ojo comes, that changes because he'll kick over to right. But as of right now, how things stands, he's the left tackle in this class. So I'm going to say Sam Greer.
Yeah, that's the most obvious one. I'm going to go with Maxwell Riley because I see more of a Donovan Jackson type of player that could be thrown into either or. But there's arguments for Tucker Smith to be in there. Yes. So go watch Tucker's film. I should have pulled his film up. We got plenty of shows to do that. Matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. Next show. Now we got to save stuff to talk about. You know what I mean?
But yeah, Tucker Smith, man, I almost, it was between him and Tucker and Sam Greer. Tucker Smith is a beast.
Yeah, don't look.
And the reason I got confused about Evan Goodwin is because he's still listed as taking his OV to Ohio State.
Yeah. Evan, yeah, I know he is. Yeah. I mean, you're definitely right there. That was a conversation I saw on a message board. Is his recruitment over? A lot of people don't believe it is. That was a surprise commitment, like out of nowhere. Will offensive linemen continue to rotate under Coach Bowen? I think yes, it will. I mean, you hear all these press conferences of how they're cross-training all these offensive linemen, and you've heard Ryan Day state how important that is with this long season. And you saw this, the biggest thing is you saw the success of it last year. I think Ryan Day just implemented a blueprint that a lot more college teams are going to be following. I really do. Because of the experience you gave some of your second strings in the beginning of the year. You know, Donovan Jackson didn't play the first 3 games. So you had Austin Sarabelt out there getting that experience. And Donovan Jackson comes back, and you keep rotating Austin Sarabelt in, and then Josh Simmons goes down. Well, that's okay. You've had one with experience the whole time. You know what I mean? So it just seems like the way to go anymore, man. It really does, because when injuries happen, we know that they do. You can confidently slide somebody over or around. I mean, and just look what it did. Look what it did for Austin Sarabelt. Just think. If we didn't rotate last year, nobody gets injured. You know what that means? That means Austin Sarabelt doesn't play. He doesn't get the playing time he gets. And now, because he did, the dude just won Iron Buckeye, and he's going to be our starting right tackle. Without that rotation, that doesn't happen. So I think there's way more good things that come from rotating an offensive line than don't. You know, it used to be that they got to get used to playing next to each other. They got to get used, which I used to be on that train as well. But 7 guys can get used to playing next to each other, right? You can have 7 as long as you're doing it in practice. They can all get that flow. When you're a tight brotherhood like Ohio State, man, I think,
hey,
gets
Dev,
going.
So I think a lot of this started 2 years ago. If you guys remember preseason, in order to get the offensive line more snaps, he had 2 or 3 different fields set up, and he would just rotate the old linemen, have them all mix and match. At first, it seemed dumb. Then he did it again last year. Then you saw that they needed it. So I think that's how the chemistry was developed, because they were already mixing and matching it throughout 2 years. So the players got used to playing with each other in different lineups. And then they just gelled and they worked their tails off. Lots and lots of reps when those injuries happened. So Day has come out and said they're going to keep rotating. I remember before the Tennessee game when he announced it, I was freaking out. I was like, man, I never seen the old line rotate. I don't know if we're going to win this game. And then they came out and punched him in the mouth. And I was like, Day is a genius. He's a savant. Him and Coach Fry. And these kids, that work that they put in, the amount of film they watch. When I went up to Ohio State for a camp for my daughter, they were in there working. I'm talking about working crazy hard on a Saturday. So these kids deserve everything they get. The coaches deserve all the accolades and everything that they get as well, because they are in there grinding.
Yeah. Dude, so we just hit offensive line. What's the next position group that you hope rotates a bunch this year, more than average? What's the next group that you want to see rotating players in and out the most on?
Truthfully, I'm going wide receiver.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going wide receiver, because I feel like we have all of our wide receivers are elite at what they do, and they all do something different. So that puts the DBs and the defenses in constant conflict. And you keep those guys fresh for the end of the season, postseason run. If you watch the postseason run that we went on, our wide receivers were fresh. Now, if you go back and remember when we played before we went to the Peach Bowl and lost to UGA, the wide receivers at the end of the season just looked like they had no legs under them. And then they had a month off and they looked fresh, and they were destroying that vaunted UGA defense is secondary. So we saw the same thing. So I would like to see them rotate more.
I mean, I pray that, honestly, I mean, I want most every position group to rotate more. That's my one thing I still have against Ryan Day that I do not understand.
Yeah.
And it's that. It's, you know, when it's time, I mean, get Riley Pettijohn and TJ Alford in there. I mean, shoot, get and some of these freshman offensive line defense, get them in the game when we're up 2 or 3 touchdowns, you know, and it's half. I mean, let them start the dang second half and just see. And if they happen to get ran through on the first couple, you know, and the team goes down and scores, then just put your starters back in. But give them a shot to get out there. Get these guys some experience, man. Think of the position we'd be in if our defensive line got more rotation last year. Now, these guys also have to be able to step up and do what they're supposed to do, which is everybody's go-to excuse for not rotating. I mean, that's everybody's. Well, they're not rotating because the guys behind them aren't living up to what they should be doing. Well, maybe that's what gets them to live up to what they should be doing is in-game experience. Maybe showing them that you have that confidence in them, that they can go out there and make a mistake in live games and learn from it. Maybe that's what's needed to put them over that hump that they're on. The Jason Morans, the Taiwan Malones, all that. Throw them in the fire, man. Let them do it. You know what I mean?
I need you to address this. That's up your alley.
Rotate kickers. Oh boy. Hey man. You know, if I was the head coach this year, I mean, anything 45 yards and longer, I mean, Jackson Corville's kicking it. You know what I mean? I would go to both kickers right now and say, hey, I don't know who the starter is. Show me.
Yeah.
Show me. And I would make it the most intense, high pressure, random situations. Like literally, I would say practice is over. 10 minutes later, I would call both the kickers and say, hey, come out here. You're kicking for the starting job. You know, I would create that tension, that pressure, and just be like, all right, this is it. You know, do that every so often, and let's get this thing going. I do it for punter as well. That's another thing that I hope gets better. But we got to shut this thing down, Mello. There's several more things. Let's see, I'm writing down. We're going to talk about Sam of college football next year or next show.
Yeah.
He's our dude we've had on the show a couple of times. Sam, you're getting a little bit wild, my dude.
Yes.
You're getting a little bit wild. We need to have you back on, see where your head's at, see what's going on. He brought up our offensive line and said there's no way we're top 3 in the country or even the Big Ten or whatever he said. So
he's tripping.
We'll address that. What were we just talking about? Because I had something else.
Hunter, kickers, competition.
Okay, so then we're going to talk about things we want to see improve from last year. Okay, cool. All right. Got those written down so I do not forget. Yes, Steely, we got that 6'7" Aussie punter that can punt it 100 yards out of the stadium. But
where is he?
Bro? He literally was called the starter last year. Ryan Day. No. Not even in a trash situation. He never even. Anyway. Yeah. But, you know, we'll see. Ryan Day made a lot of coaching changes this year, and he brought that dude in from the NFL that made a career on special teams. So, you know, we'll see. There's always room for improvement, and we're Ohio State fans, so we got to be lunatics and go the other route. We've been pumping this team up for a while now, rightfully so, pumping Ryan Day up. So next show, we're going to get into a little bit of some stuff that we hope to see Ryan Day and these Buckeyes improve on this year. We know that they can. But, Mello, any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rotation. We're playing Grambling State, bro. If your third and fourth strings can't beat Grambling State, like let's be for real. I don't want to see the starters after really the quarter and a half. Put somebody else in. Maybe keep Julian in if you want. If you feel like he needs some more work. But outside of that, like let's get the ball moving. Like what are we doing?
Yeah, we'll dive into that a little more as well. A little bit of an update, man. I ordered 2 live traps to put in my backyard to try to catch Cujo. So I'm still on the hunt there. I go out every single night with a flashlight and shine in the trees to try to see his little eyes. I'm convinced he's still around somewhere. They're laughing, staring at me, looking for him. But hopefully we catch him. But on that note, guys, I need your guys' help a little bit. We're trying to figure out how to do this. We've interviewed so many players, and we want to put these interviews back out, because we've got a lot more subscribers, a lot more viewers now. We're part of Buckeye Scoop now as well. So do you guys, our regular listeners, and even if you're just watching this show now or you watch this video, put yes or no in the chat for me. Should we re-drop some of these interviews of the Braylon Womacs, the Felix Ojos? Should we re-drop those again? I feel like it's that time of year to do that. And yeah, Meadows, that's exactly what we were thinking. Dropping some of these, Mo hit at the same time, dropping some of these, interviews on Scoop for more people to see. So yeah, just let us know in the chat. But on that note, guys, subscribe if you haven't. Please hit the like button. That is something we could use guys' help with. If you're watching, please hit the like button. It helps us out. It doesn't really cost you much, man. It just helps us out. So we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. On that note, go Buckeyes. Oh wait, trivia.
Oh yeah. Hitting the like button is free. It doesn't cost you anything. Not much. It doesn't cost anything. Just a quick second of your time. And you can also drop in the comment section after the video ends, like where we should drop it in if you want us to re-drop them for the new people.
Hey, I'm going to say something impossible right now. We have almost 5,000 subscribers. If we get to 10,000 subscribers by 2 weeks before the Washington game, I'll give away tickets to the first and second place winner of the trivia. So 10,000, maybe 5,000. It only took us 6 months to get to 5,000. So we could hit 10,000. If we get 10,000 2 weeks before the Washington game, if you get second in trivia, you'll receive a free ticket as well. It's way too hard of a question.
Yeah, what Craig said. Come on, Pete. We got 786 people watching. We got 32 likes.
204. Okay, this is a hard one. Here we go. Who was the first Ohio State player to rush for 200 yards in a single game? I've never heard of this person. Look at Troy. It's up to you.
Hey, Stilly, you gonna take that? That's disrespect. He coming straight for your neck.
Look at Charles. Yeah, I wish, Charles.
Right? We try and get like you, Charles.
No, we give back. Which you guys, if you become a member, or the money we get paid for the advertising on this show, it legit goes back into the channel. We're both blessed. I own a company. Melo's in the military. He's blessed. We're not greedy people. We don't do this to make money. I know probably 20% of you believe the words that are coming out of my mouth, but legit, the money we make pays for StreamYard and any other costs. If we need a new camera or something, we'll buy that. But outside of that, we're not putting money in our bank accounts.
Facts.
We don't make enough on this show to even pay what it costs to run the show right now.
Right.
So but that's like legit what it is. I wouldn't even look if anybody answered, dude. I just went on this. Yeah, I knew nobody would get it. Did anybody say Oliver? Oh, Meadows got it. Meadows got it.
Okay. We'll give you that one, Meadows. You've been a good champ today. I've been liking Meadows.
Oliver Klein. Wow, I don't even know who that is, dude.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, that was his first one too. I was looking up. Unless we count this chat. This is what he typed after the question. So does this count as an answer? Does Old Snap sound like a name of a running back? I think it does. I think it does.
That'd be a nasty running back. Oh, Snap.
Do we give Meadows the go-ahead for the point? I think that would give him 6. He's getting up there.
Meadows and Matt going to the Washington game. Y'all sitting right next to each other.
Hold on. Tyler said no. The Natural said yeah. Russ said yes.
Yep, he was
Greg
snappy.
said yeah. Yeah. We're giving it to Meadows. Meadows 6. Nice.
Yep.
Tyler said no because I had to answer. I don't know, Charles. I'm going to ask Kirk if he did. That's a good question. I'm on my way. So, Natural says, wait, he has 6? No. Yeah, you and Natural are tied now. Just a reminder, man. There's going to be, I said there would be one 10-point question, okay? And there's going to be 2-pointers, 5-pointers, 1-pointers. So,
it's going to be random. So you need to hit that like, subscribe button and the notification bell so that way you're here for the lives, because that's the only way you're going to be able to enter the competition and go to Washington. I'm telling you, that stadium is beautiful. It's right on the Pacific Ocean. That's the backdrop. I've been out there several times, and I'm not saying the city itself is amazing, but that stadium is.
So just help us try to grow the channel. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers for the Washington game, and first and second. Shoot, I might even throw third place in there. You never know. But we're over on Scoop now, trying to get some more subscribers and watchers over here. So if you're doing that, let people know. Come check us out on the Buckeye Boys, man. But on that note, let's try this again. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Go Buckeyes. OH.
IO.